House music.
Good day, everyone, and welcome at another amazing session here at the Meticulous Moments podcast, where we facilitate community upliftment through leadership development. And today we have the wonderful pleasure of spending time with an amazing person, and his name is Robert J. Moore. I'm going to read his bio before I bring him on screen. Robert J. Moore is a seasoned professional featured in Forbes and Disrupt Magazines, internationally awarded bestseller, founder of Magnetic Entrepreneur Incorporated, which consists of Magnetic Entrepreneur, TV, speaker, business coaching. Robert won a Guinness World Record. He's a Guinness World Record holder, and he received a Global Recognition Award and has impacted the lives of many through the work associated with Magnetic Entrepreneur Incorporated. Robert has co-authored with Jim Rohn's 18-year business partner, Kyle Wilson, World Series pitcher Todd Stottlemyre, Les Brown's daughter, Serena Brown Travis, Armand Morin, most referenced names in internet marketing, Reggie Rusk, retired NFL player Dr. Joe Vitale from the book and movie The Secret, etc. Robert has hosted many events with his brand Magnetic Entrepreneur Author Awards, Magnetic Entrepreneur Guinness World Records attempt, and High-End Mastermind, which allows his students to reach the levels they could only dream of. Over the past 15 years, he has built his High-End Mastermind program to the point that he is world-renowned, teaching everyone from newbies to experts. He leads the exact techniques and strategies he uses daily in his business. Robert gives away his high performance to all his clients so they can duplicate his success in half the time. He believes every business deserves to be successful in their field. Robert has had magazines interview Robert from around the world, national TV programs, and radio shows. And he's also been invited to speak on world class stages with Jack Canfield, Les Brown, Bob Proctor, Eric Thomas, Douglas Vermeuren, and Armand Morin. Robert has done so remarkable that his latest book, Resilience, is based on a true story of his life. It has not only been seen on New York Times Square and Piccadilly billboards, but has now worked closely with Robert to become a movie, and it will hit the theater in early 2024. But more than that, Robert is a very good friend of mine, a colleague, and also one of my coaches. So let's welcome Robert as we bring him into the studio. How are you, Robert?
I'm tired, but I'm well. doing a lot lately, but I'm keeping up.
You've been doing a lot lately, and you're always busy with something, and that's what I love about you, is that energy. That's why, we get along so well, and that energy always flows, and there's always creative juices flowing, because you're a go-getter. So tell the audience, that was a mouthful. You're busy with so many things. You've accomplished so much. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, let's start off with, everybody thinks it's so easy to be where I'm at today. I've been featured in Forbes, Guinness World Record, and all these different magazines and the radio shows and everything, podcasts and everything I've been on at the top level, on stage with almost every high-end person. They think it's easy for you. You're already there. And no, it wasn't easy for me. I'm an ex-convict. All right. I did 17 years in the jail because I didn't like the way I was living. I became a drug addict, alcoholic, and took a tour. That tour was like 17 years long. And didn't know the jail. 7 years on the streets. When I finally had enough of that lifestyle, it was crazy to get out. It was one of the hardest things to do, is get out of that lifestyle. But when I finally did, I got myself help with the AANA and all that. Our programs I used it to help me get through it. I went to a treatment center. Today, I'm happy to say I'm 18 years clean and sober. But on those 18 years in that journey, what I did was I started to learn why I was being the person I was. I'm going to say it the easy way, why I was the asshole I was. And what I did was I went and got my social service worker diploma, my addictions degree, my BA in psychology, my master's in counseling psychology, my harm reduction, mental health crisis, and 2 honorary doctorate degrees. Now, I didn't do that to put the degrees on the wall. As you see, I only got Forbes and Guinness World Record on there, and that's all I need. Because I utilized those skills to find out where I was coming from, why I was behaving the way I was, in order to help other businesses grow their stuff. Yeah. So I was actually a registered therapist in Canada for 15 years and a registered counselor for 12 years, just to figure out where I wanted to be, how I wanted to do in order to power other people. So it's estimated I've helped over 200,000 people. Wow. I co-authored with probably about 7,000 people. And I've published over 200 books.
I love that.
You're in my last book I'm doing, very last book I'm doing. As a matter of fact, you're co-authoring in that one.
I can't wait. Audience, I'm going to be a co-author with Robert very, very soon in his book, Collaborate to Succeed. And he's coaching me. We recently started coaching, and he's coaching me on all the ins and outs of publishing. And I have to say, it's been such a journey. If you're out there and you need coaching, Robert is the go-to guy. He is on point. He knows exactly what he's talking about, and he's been there. So he's done that. And I love to learn from people who's had that experience. Now, Robert, tell us a little bit about your book series, and tell us about the upcoming projects.
My very, very, very first book took me over 2.5 years to write. Literally 2.5 years to write. I was just like fresh out of jail, fresh in the scene of being sober. My parole officer actually was my editor for my book, who I'm going to go see next week because she's doing a cameo for my movie, and we'll get to that in a minute. She actually did. She was really good in English. Well, my problem was I had a learning disorder while growing up. My percentile of where I was at the level I was supposed to be was not matching up. So I was in college, literally in college. I passed all the rest of the school, and I didn't do well in high school and that because I was a troublemaker of drinking and drugging underneath the staircases at the school, skipping, fights and whatever it may be. I got suspended. I loved it when I got suspended because I didn't want to be at school anyways. But they tricked me. They started learning how much I didn't like being at school. They gave me an internal suspension, which meant you have to go sit in the office and do your homework there. And I didn't like that very much. So then I found out when I got to college, I had this learning disorder. So I had to learn how to overcome that. And reading was one of them, and writing. My writing was at a grade 3 level.
Yeah.
So how could I write a book? Well, here's the thing. When I started going through college, I learned how to speed read and learn how to do it properly in those textbooks. All right. Wow. I learned how to write because I just kept writing and then looking at, Grammarly or whatever and helping me fix it. Plus I used to hate, and I mean hate, when people say, oh, you spelled that wrong. You spelled that wrong. Like Barrie, Ontario, I'd spell berry as in the berry you eat instead of the berry town. You know what I mean? Like, and people would sit there and laugh at me for it. It's like, this is what I know. You know what I mean? So then Google came in play with Grammarly and a bunch of other places, and people I know, they used to tell me, hey, this is pretty crappy spelling, man. So I had to learn how to fix that. So I did pass with all the college and degrees and everything else, but I did it. And the funny thing is, when I did my post-grad, my master's, I never opened the textbook once. I got 92% overall. All right. I never opened it, and it was 4-hour exams. Each time was a 4-hour exam. I sat there and I did it. The lowest I got in the overall thing was 92.
Wow, that's incredible.
You know what I mean? So I learned how to write through school and everything, but I learned why I was being the asshole I was, the behaviors I was, and then I had to learn to tell my own story. So I hired 52 of the top achievers all the way through. I studied them. I took nitpicks from them, like Ted McGrath. He taught me how to tell my story. He's a master at telling stories, Message to Millions. Jim Rohn. I studied him. He was online, unfortunately, because he was deceased by that time. But his coach and his partner, Kyle Wilson, taught me publishing. Taught me a lot of ins and outs there. So, I mean, he's doing exceptionally well. He does a lot of high-end people. I've been on, I studied ET. I studied everybody you could think of, all these different people. I took just a piece of every one of them. And I made this business the way it is now. And it's empowering a lot of people. I love it.
It is. It definitely is. And you know what I love about, your vibe and your energy and collaborating with you is the fact that you're always pursuing personal and professional development. And, the way that you relay information, it's such a wonderful manner. I hear you. I can see that you studied so many people. And I can also see that you are employing what you've learned in your business. And, you have a good heart. You want to help.
One thing people don't know about me, I put out a new program for $97 right now, and that's an 8-week program. You might want to think about this. We'll talk to you later about that. It's $97 for 8 weeks. That's it. I'm teaching people how to build their brand, structure their brand, and I'm putting it all out there. I'm putting it all out there in 8 weeks. Obviously, at the end of it, I'm going to give people a chance. Okay, listen, here's a discounted price if you want to work with me personally. But you're going to find out where the loopholes are. You're going to find out how to get there. Listen, man, I've been featured in Forbes magazine. I was on the council with Forbes. I won the Guinness World Record. I'm an outside box thinker. I have the material to be a PR if I need to be. I've been seen all over the place. Google Robert J. Moore or Magnetic Entrepreneur. You are not going to miss me. You know what I mean? Like and that's not bragging. You used to do that before. You used to see me in handcuffs on the thing for armed robberies or attempted murders, whatever. And that one picture in there that you were showing earlier with me and the other guy standing beside each other, that's the ex-mob boss from actual UK that came down to Toronto, and we sat down, and I actually published his book, and we sat and talked to each other, and people are like, oh, you got 2 ex-gangsters there. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? We're getting nervous here. Don't ever be nervous. No. We're ex-gangsters. We don't go back to the lifestyle. We might know people in that field, but we don't, we don't do any association that way.
No. And your life, just telling your story, we're going to talk about resilience now, but telling your story is inspiring others that are on the wrong journey that they can change their ways, they can flip the script, they can fix their lives, they can become successful and happy. And you're even going to make a movie about resilience 2024. It's coming out. So tell us about resilience.
Well, let's before I get there, I mean, I always want to mention that every coach needs a coach. I have my own coaches too. I have my own coaches too. Armand Morin, he's a top strategist in the world, right? I also just hired another couple coaches. They work together as a team. There's like 4 of them.
Yeah.
The reason why I did that is because I want to tighten up a few loose ends that I feel that could be tightened up. I don't want to just learn from one person. I want to learn two strategies from 2 people, but you got to be careful. I want to stress this out. Don't learn from 2 people if you're new, like that. Don't learn the same thing, marketing and that, if you're new. If you know how to structure it right, if you know the right foundation, you know the keys you're looking for, it's okay. The reason why I say don't do it if you're new is because too many people say, "Oh, Tony Robbins, gotta go see him. I want to be like him. I want to do that. Oh, Robert J. Moore, I got to be like that. Oh, this person here. Oh, that person there," and they're scattered, and they don't know what they're doing.
That's it.
That's why I say I want you to do the best thing to do is mind map it. Here's you. Yes. Here's them. Who do you admire? So hypothetically, Tony Robbins, when I started out, what does he do? What does he do to here? How? All the W's, right? And all those different things you want to look at. The 5 different key points. Who does he serve? Right? How does he serve? What areas does he serve? Does he fly them or they fly to them? Does he do it online, offline? Right? How does he do it? Does he do it on stage? Does he walk around? Does he engage people? How do you relate to that? How do you relate to that? You do the same questions on yourself. Don't copy him. You want to be you. So you take a point of what he's doing, you mind map that into what you're doing and become you. And now do that with someone else and it slowly builds you. I call it being the monster I am today. Happy-go-lucky son of a bitch.
I love that, but you are.
But I'm always learning. I'm always learning the next level. So I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. If I'm the smartest person in the room, I'm getting the hell out of there.
That's it. I was on Inspired Choices Network shortly after I came back from St. Louis. I was at an entrepreneur business summit for the BLN. And I was a speaker, but I was also on the panel, the business panel, for talking about marketing and how to build your business. And they really asked me a lot about Meticulous. How did I do it? How did I get to where I am? And it was such a lovely experience. And they asked me a question because I coach as well. So audience, I'm a coach, but look, I've got Robert coaching me on certain areas as well, because you should never trust a coach that doesn't have a coach. So I said to them, they asked me, what is wrong with the coaching space these days? And I said, you know what's wrong? Everybody tries to copy and paste what the next guy is doing. That's not what you are supposed to do. Take all the information in and then be you, authentically you, and structure your own program through your own experiences. I love what you said just there. Absolutely agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like I said, if I'm not doing something for a while, you don't see me doing something on Facebook, you're going to wonder what I'm doing, because I don't like the competition. No, and I use the competition not very loosely, because I don't find there's competition. There's enough people in the world. As long as here's the thing, people focus too much on money. You focus on the money, you stay broke. You will stay broke because you're chasing the money, but what you're doing, what you should be doing. Here's what you should be doing. Show people your passion. Give them a solution to a problem. Let them know that you know a solution to feed the problems, but don't go at the scope of your practice. Don't go over your head and say, oh yeah, I can help you with this, just because you want to get the money or the client. And then all of a sudden you look like the a-hole and not understand what they're saying or be able to help them. I did that at the beginning. I mean, I was desperate at the beginning too. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of flaws and I had to learn them in order to be here where I am today. I got a lot of people out there with a lot of specs, but I also have my haters. But the thing is, if I didn't have those haters, I would learn that I'm not doing something right. You know what I mean? So the more I see people come to me, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, I don't get argumentative. I just say, thank you for pointing that out. Beautiful. And the reason why for that is because it's when you're looking at a situation, I mean, your intention is to empower other people and help them and everything else. I'm not making any false statements or anything else. They're the ones that are pointing out that, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. But that's in their eyes.
Yes.
If I'm pissing people off and haters, I'm doing something right. Because I'm being me authentically, I'm being me. And they're being, it's either jealousy or the fact that, oh, how can he do it and I can't? And, instead of getting to know me and I could probably help them over top of that. I've had a lot of people try and steal the way I do my programs, and they become the other people. They claim that they're multimillionaires. I never claim anything about money. One thing I do say is my first book made me $3.2 million. That's what I said.
Fantastic.
The reason why I say that is because becoming an author doesn't make you rich. The credibility from it can make your own soul and body recognized to the world. Like I just won the Global Recognition Award.
Oh, yes.
I'm recognized all over the place, right? So when you're doing something, make sure you're doing it authentically. You're not doing it to be noticed. I don't look for appraisal.
Yeah.
I mean, I just tell people my story because it might empower another person to come forward. Hey, listen, I did this too. Yeah.
I love that. And you are right. And I see you living that as well. It all starts with that passion and sincerity. Because if you don't start off with that, and if you focus, like you said, it's on the wrong things, you're not going to last.
The money will come. The money will follow if you do that.
Trust me, the money will follow. Open. Yeah.
I've seen myself have $153,000 paycheck. I've seen myself have $20,000 paychecks, $30,000 paychecks, and $5 paychecks. You know what I mean? Like it depends. Now, here's the thing. If I'm asked to speak in a prison and I say I'll do it for free, and somebody else says, okay, listen, how about you speak over here and I charge $100,000 for them? I'm not going to give the people in the jail any less than what I'm giving these people I'm paying $100,000 for. The reason why is because I believe in what I believe in myself. I believe in me. I can't lower my standards for somebody else and give them less because I chose to do it for free. So now I can't take it out on them. A lot of people I see do that. They say, oh, we're just giving it for free, so we're just going to give a little talk. No, put it all out there. Start giving things for free and show people, look, when you're up at 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, or a lot of people sleep all day, or maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. I've been up at 3 o'clock doing my work. You're not going to outwork me, man. You're not going to do it.
No. I went to bed last night or this morning at 5 a.m. and I was up at 9 because I always give my best. And when in the years that I was a pastor, I pastored big congregations. I pastored small congregations. I started up churches, but I always gave the same passion and I did it with the same drive. If I preached to 3 people, if I started a congregation, man, I would preach it the same way as I would preach in a 1,000-seater church. And someone asked me the other day, what's your definition of success? I was a guest on a podcast. Nobody had ever asked me that before. And I said, you know what? When I'm happy, I'm successful. Because I get up and I get to have a new day and do the things I love, and the money follows. The success follows because my energy is high, and I'm vibrating at that level. So I agree with you completely. The money follows. Work hard.
Yeah, success is achieving that one goal. You achieve that you put out for that day. It's like money. Oh, I want to be financially set. I want to be free. Well, I'm going to tell you something. When people sit there and say you want to be financially free or financially set or something like that, Here's what you got to remember. If you're actually getting paid and you're working hard and making things work, they call it the hustle, the thrive, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Your bills are paid. You don't know any bills. All right?
Yeah.
Your bills are paid. You got food in the cupboards, food in the fridge, in the freezer, and everybody's happy in your family. Everything's going good, but you're broke. Guess what? That's financially free. Remember what you're saying when you say financially free. Now, abundance of money is when you go overly and you can spend that money extra when you have that extra money, right? When you have the millions extra, when you can actually get up, go for a coffee and afford to go to, I'll just take a private jet and go to North Carolina for the day or whatever it may be. But people, if you guys look at Think and Grow Rich, the autobiography or the book or whatever, study that, you'll walk through in chapter 2 alone is a very heavy and rich part. It actually helped me out. It taught me that if you want to give something up and put a date to it, what are you actually going to sacrifice to actually make it happen? So I sacrifice on the sleep. I sacrifice on being with my family. I sacrifice on whatever I need to do in order to, like, I was getting up 3 o'clock in the morning, speaking to people in Australia at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning on my end and 1 o'clock in the afternoon on their end. So, I mean, this is what you have to do to make it work. But the thing is, I'm not doing it like Tony Robbins. I'm not doing it like Kyle Wilson or Jim Rohn or anybody else. I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to be doing it because I studied it. I learned it. Plus, I know all the studies I did with my credentials, which, it just empowers other people. And now I can read people like a book, too, because of the stuff I've done. First of all, being an ex-con, you know how to read people anyways because you're a con, right? So I can admit I was an ex-con. I'm in that jail 17 years. I've learned how to do it. So you go from there, and then you get the studies, and you can read the body language, the facial expressions, the physiology of the facial expressions and everything else. It allows you to say, okay, well, when you're asking a question and they're balking it like or whatever, go around that and ask a different question, but get the same answer.
That's it. That's it. Many people don't know, that we've learned these things over the years. Robert, I learned a lot in the church. I was in the corporate world all the time that I was in the church. I learned so much from my congregations. I learned about personalities, and I studied as well at that time. I know sociology, I know psychology. I'm someone that loves to study people, and I also love to look at body language. And that, you are right, that helps. It helps in coaching, it helps in business, it helps in building that personal relationships. And we do what we need to do to get things done. But we don't feel sorry for ourselves because we have to stay up at 3 a.m. in the morning. You and I enjoy doing those things because we know
I'm not working. I'm not working. I'm having fun. I mean, now here's the thing: if you feel like you're working, you feel like you're still at the 9 to 5. Your mentality is still you're not dealing with your own issues.
That's it.
And not only that, the drama comes in. Everybody's got drama in their business. Everybody, like it's politics in your business, I call it. Well, everybody's got their own shit in their backyard to clean up.
True.
Don't worry about backing up somebody else's. Let them clean their own. You know what I mean? When someone comes to me and they start studying me and they start doing the things I'm doing, I feel honored. Are they going to succeed? Possibly not, because they may not know the foundation or the structure of the business they're putting together in order to do it, because they have to do it on their style, not my style. I had one person, honest to God, I had one person sit there. They pretty much had the same name as me. And then they told people they were on a high level on all these stages. They were never on stages with anybody. They never really, they met them once, I think, and that was at mine, but they were never speaking on my stage. And then that person, what they did was they started being a publisher too, and trying to say, okay, well, I dealt with this person, I'm in with that person. They never even wrote a book before.
Oh no.
That was their business, though. That's their business. I understood that. I got to let them fall on their own. It's just like, if you work with me, I'm going to tell you something. If you work with me, I care more about your business than I do your emotions, but you're going to be prepared to hear it. You're going to hear it. Now, listen, I was a therapist for a long time, so I know how to deal with the emotions. But at the same time, I care more about your business because I want you to succeed. I don't want you to fail. I'm not going to tell you, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Come on.
Then nobody learns. Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm not going to enable you to do the same shit over and over.
That's it. That's the truth. That's the truth. And you've got an upcoming event in Canada, and I would have loved to be there. Unfortunately, my visa is going to take like 200 days. Can you believe that backlog? I mean, that is just horrible. But tell the audience how they can become a part of your beautiful event that you're putting together.
July, I've just started putting it together, so I'm kind of, I got some serious people coming in, like Les Brown's daughter. I got who I got. One of your guests coming up here, which is my videographer, excellent person, Lefty. He's coming up at the end of the week there. I guess, what is it, tomorrow he's coming on?
Yeah, tomorrow at 3.
Yeah, him and I went to the jail a few times. We were doing the taping down there. We're doing up in different areas, and he's a good cat, man. I'm telling you right now, he's a good cat. If you need your videos done, get in there and hire this guy, man. He's does magic. He touches it, it's like magic. So yeah, my event is July 22nd. I've changed the date to July 22nd. I got some up. I'm only putting like 80 spots out there.
Yeah.
And they're filling up. They got like 15 spots right now. I haven't really been pushing it yet. The reason why is because I've been trying to work with the last book and the last collaborations. And plus I've been training people that do publishing, as you know. I'm training their staff to do it. And, you know, there's a bunch of people. I got 5 people I'm training on that. Plus I got my own students. Plus I got autobiography I'm doing with the filming and the destinations and everything we got to be. Plus I got my own family life and my own honeydew list that I put together, not the wife. You know, and it's just, it's just an everyday thing, man. If we go on a vacation, if we go to Florida or something like that, they already know. I go right to the garage. I set up in the garage and I make that my office. They can have money, go do whatever they want. We got a pool there. We got, fridge is full. I rented the place for a month, maybe $6,000-$7,000, everything all together. There's a car out there. Use it, do whatever you want to do. I'm here if needed, but otherwise I'm going to work to make that money back.
Good.
You know what I mean? And that's the way I like to do things. That's the way I like to do things.
That's how it is. That's how we got to keep rolling. We have to keep that momentum. That is what it's all about, keeping that momentum. And, your movie, tell the audience about your movie because I'm super excited, guys. Robert's going to all these locations. There's going to be 2 parts. There's an autobiography and then there's going to be a movie.
Yeah, the autobiography is going to be me personally in it and more or less me talking about my story. And then I've already signed a movie contract for Resilience. So if you guys want to know more about the movie part of it, you can actually read the book, Resilience, A True Story of Robert J. Moore. That's my actual book. It's made it on New York City billboards. It's been on the UK billboards. It's hit like top charts all over the place. I've also been asked to be in Chicken Soup for the Soul because of it. And then I'm looking at other publishers and thinking, okay, well, should I let this one at least go into certain publishers and be bigger? That's what I'm thinking. And it's got me a lot of awards too. I've got another award I've been nominated for coming up. But the movie itself is going to have 4 or 5 really big names in it. We haven't finalized the contract yet with it, but we have got people put together. I've signed my part of it, signed that. We've already went through the pitch deck. We've already went through, sitting down for a month after working, a couple hours after working, we sat down for a couple hours and then wrote the script out. Took me a month going through the whole thing. The guy was just pulling things out of me. We're still fine tuning a little bit of it right now because I'm doing the autobiography and it's bringing a little bit more out. So it's pretty cool. I mean, the autobiography, basically, I'm just me talking different areas, different things we're doing, like in the jail cells. And then you see me walking around that yard. You see me, you get the cameos like my old parole officer, police officers, and this person and that person being a part of the movie. Plus a lady that's doing a tour. I was just talking to her last night. She does a tour of Guelph Correctional Center here in Canada. I spent almost 6-7 years there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's all provincial on that one, but I mean, I did 17 years. So, I mean, you got to figure out, almost 6-7 years scattered here and there. And here's the thing. She's going to interview me personally because she does tours of that place. And I'm actually going to, as a favor, I'm going to do is advertise her in my autobiography, obviously. And I'm going to actually go down there, and when she's doing the walk around in a couple of weeks, I'm actually going to sit there and be one of the people to help her with the walk around the jail and the tour of the jail and give people, hey, listen, I was an inmate there and here's what we experienced.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You're using that experience to uplift others, to change the world.
Yeah. Well, really people got to be careful how they do it, though. I mean, don't be bringing up things that are going to put you back in jail. Don't be bringing up things that are going to make you look better than somebody else. Tell your story and stick to your story. It doesn't matter if this person was an armed robbery and he had 100 people behind him to back him up to scare other people. It don't matter how bad it is. Your story is just as bad as other people's. I always tell people, why should I have to go out of my story to tell a story when I got enough story here?
Mm-hmm. And, your story and other people's stories, it's incredible to see how people overcome the obstacles, how they find that inner strength, how they make that one choice, and everything changes. And that's what grips the hearts of people. That's what really, touches their hearts and their souls and their spirits and gives them the strength to say, you know what, Robert did it. I can do it. Juanita did it. She had that crossroads. I can do it. And that's what we're here for. We have to share our story, like you said. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. So, I mean, when people are looking at their struggles and sit there and say they want to give up, they can't do it. They're banging their head against the wall and they're at wit's end. They don't know how to get to that next level. Did you forget that there are other people out there that have gone through that? Or did you forget that maybe you're doing it by yourself isn't going to work? Did you forget that the experience you're experiencing, you have to experience for a reason? Another thing I want to emphasize right now, people will come into your life. You're going to be, oh my God, this is so cool. I didn't expect this person to come in my life. There's so much good information here. All of a sudden, when you get all that good information, you're starting to implement it in your business. You don't get to talk to that person as much, and they just kind of do their own thing. Don't be getting jealous. Don't be getting upset. Don't be getting mad, because God puts people out there for a reason. Okay, here's what I'm trying to say. They'll come into your life for a certain reason. Maybe they weren't meant to stay. Maybe they were just bypassing, and then all of a sudden, gave you the information, and you left. That's it. Don't be upset. Don't get, scattered and say, well, oh, they used to be my friend. But who cares? They're everybody's friend. You know what I mean? And don't get scattered. If someone does something wrong to you, forgive them.
Yeah. Forgive them. Forgive them.
I gotta tell you, resentment is like pissing down your own leg. You're the only one that feels it. So don't get into it.
I love that. We don't want to be doing that.
Sorry, I speak my mind.
I love that about you. I'm the same. We don't hold back, and resentment is not worth it. Forgive, shake that energy off you, move on. Always send love and light to all people. I send love and light. I don't hold on to things. I don't hold grudges. I don't get upset. No resentment, because that energy pulls you down. I'm loving and kind and happy, and that's what I like to be. So, and you're the same. You are always giving people the benefit of the doubt, like I am, and you really want to help. And that's why
I'm not going to say I don't get angry or frustrated or go back to my old thinking.
We all do.
I mean, it's a natural thing when you get frustrated off your out of your box there. And you like, not 2 weeks ago, I had an incident happen, and I thought I was going to break his legs. That's what I thought. It was in my mind. I said, well, I'd go back and break his legs. You know what I mean? That's what I used to do for a living. I used to collect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to change my phone number and pray for him.
Yeah.
Hope for the best for him. And it still bugs me to this day that I didn't do it, but I did the right thing. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy to snap back in that old way. And that's after 18 years. It's so easy to snap back in that old way because I want to prove a point to this person. Why do I need to prove anything to him? I don't owe him anything. I owe me something, not him. It's like, I like the way Eric Thomas says it, a hip hop preacher from Detroit. He's one of the top speakers in the world. I've been on stage with him and we talk, and I got his phone number right here. I can call him anytime I want. And he says, listen, you owe you. He tells me, he says, you don't go to the grocery store and say, hey, this is 30 days on the thing here and it's broken. You don't go to yourself and say, hey, no more. I'm not going to watch TV today. I'm not going to drink today. I'm going to stick to this diet. We don't do that. We don't owe ourselves. No. You know what I mean? I'm going to guarantee you, if you're putting out 90% of what you're putting out there to make your business happen, I guarantee you I'm doing 120. And I'll tell you why. I want this bad, and I'll tell you how bad I want this. I want more. Like when you put your head in the water, you're gasping in your mind. You want air bad, man. You want to breathe. Well, then put it from your head to your heart, the 18-inch rule. Put those emotions behind it. When you got those emotions behind it, you're going to start driving and fiving and making it work. Because now you got an emotion behind it. You got something that can actually push you. You know what I mean? Find your why and dig down deep and grab it. No matter what it is. If it's because you're tired of seeing your mom suffer, I was like that with my dad. I was tired of seeing my dad suffer. I retired my father. Although he did not want to retire, I retired him. I retired my wife in the house right now. I retired my wife.
Yeah.
I only ask her to do is if she feels like it, please help with the cleaning, please help with the cooking. I don't mind cooking myself after a long day's work, whatever it may be, or I'll just order something out. But please help out with the kids and whatever it may be, because I can't do it all.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't sit there and say, okay, well, a woman's spot is in the kitchen and a woman's spot's to clean. I find that degrading.
Me too.
Help out. Same with the kids. Let's do chores. Let's help out. I said, they want something from me. They want to go on vacation or whatever. That's fine. Let's help out each other.
That's it. I love that point that you made just now. You don't stereotype and you give everybody their space and their freedom, but you help out. And I literally work every day. And I do it because I want to. I choose to do it because, like you illustrated, I know why I'm doing it and I know my reason, and I know where I'm headed. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But I also know when I need to take a break. So I listen to my body. And if I feel overworked, then I do take, a break and say, okay, well, today I'm just going to go meditate but I still end up doing something that day because I want to keep that momentum.
I get bored
going.
too fast. So here's the thing. I was in college and then I went to university. When I was in university, I did one university course, like a whole different thing. There was like 5 classes in it. I did that online. The other university I was doing in person at the same time. So I was doing 2 different university degrees at the same time for the courses. To match up to each other because I was impatient. I was bored. At the same time as doing both of them, I was working out with the health center there, being on, like I was already a counselor, but I wanted to learn a different way of counseling. So now you get on with the helpline, with the helpline where they phone in, they just want to talk to you. You can't give them advice as a counselor.
No. It's
against the law. Even though I'm registered counselor at the time, I wasn't allowed. So I had to just walk them through the differences. So I had people sit there with me and make sure that I asked them to be there. And I asked them, hey, look, stay here for, let's do 50 hours. Let's do 50 hours of you being here. If you don't mind, I said, I'll buy the coffee, the lunch, whatever. I was in school at the same time, but I didn't want to counsel the people. I wanted to learn how to directly talk to the people without counseling them. Let them come up with their own answers and make them feel special. I don't need the recognition. I don't need the recognition. The recognition comes from other people, from credibility.
That's it.
So if you're out there promoting yourself, how does that look?
That's it.
That's the truth. If you're promoting me, if other people are promoting me, that's giving me credibility. And I've got a lot of that.
Yes. A lot of people don't know, Robert, I'm a CPSC level 5 religious professional. On top of being a pastor, I'm not just a pastor. I studied lots of things, And I don't know if people know this, but you have to put in hundreds of hours where people coach you, where people sit with you while you, and I mean, that happened over a span of 15 years. Mm-hmm. So, you don't just sit down, get a certificate and say, yay, I can counsel or I can give advice now. Oh, no. Robert and I have put in the work.
I put in almost 18. I put in 18 years of working, but I guarantee if you work with me, you don't have to do 18 years. You work with me for a year. Say you work with me for a year. I put a flat price on you. We do that. Yeah. There's no extra. I've always given bonuses. I always put people out there. I always blow people's minds because I give the extra. But here's the thing. If you work for me, for a year, I'll rip your business apart, but you'll still want to lose money. You'll gain money because you're not losing money. You still got the same clients, but you're just upping your game. You're tightening up to certain areas you need to tighten up. If I don't know something, I'm going to tell you, look, I don't know. Well, let me ask my coach or that coach or that coach. Let's let them get involved for 5, maybe an hour's worth of talking, and then we'll straighten it out. You know what I mean? And we'll leverage your business so that you're actually looking at it differently. I've worked with multimillionaires, billionaires. I've worked with people just coming in off the street. I've worked with people just moving forward and not being able to move forward because they're stuck. Just a train of thought. It's like an author. When an author sits there and they can't move forward because they have writer's block. That's the same thing with businesses. a lot of people go to this level here. Oh, I'm doing really comfortable, but they'd like to be here. They don't know how to do that leap. And a lot of times it's because they're not facing something that they're dealing with and they're not working on. So, or they're missing out on something simple. And I help them get through that phase. That's why I have three different spots on different levels. Now, as it stands right now with my marketing and everything, I do all my own marketing, but I'm going to hire another team later on because I want to tighten up areas. I just got to remember, I've been doing this for years, but I also been doing the publishing for years. It took over a lot. And what I did was I let that go. And now I'm doing full time with the masterminds and stuff. Now, here's the thing. This year until Christmas time, no matter what package you take, you're working with me personally. Why? Because I haven't finished all the programs on the inside of it yet, so that actually goes automated. So first two programs should be automation no matter what. The third one you'll have part me and part it, and the very last one will be 100% me.
Fantastic. Absolutely love that. I love collaborating and working with you, Robert. So I can vouch for.
It's hard because we got such different hours. I mean, we're like 6-7 hours apart.
Yeah, but we make it work. We make it work.
Hey, I'll get up 6-7 o'clock in the morning, and then we're on call, and it might be 6-7 o'clock here, but it'd be 1 o'clock there or something.
That's it. I appreciate you so much, and I've got 2 questions left for you.
Sure.
I would like you to tell the audience today, because I love to talk about gratitude. I'm so grateful for my life and the path that I'm taking, meeting wonderful people like yourself as well. What are you grateful for today? And then leave the audience, if you may, with a few words of wisdom before we close this session.
Here's the thing, Kate. I want to talk, not a matter of being what I'm grateful for, but how to be grateful.
Beautiful.
A lot of people, they'll sit there and say, oh, yeah, it's easy for you to do this or that. You got this and that. Well, here, no matter what level you're at, I don't care if you're hungover right now, you spent all your money, you have no place to live. All right. Do you have 2 feet? Do you have a heart? Do you above ground? You can be grateful for that. Do you have other people come to help you out? I don't care. Maybe you're an alcoholic. Maybe you have other people come to bring you booze that day. You should be grateful for that. Always be grateful for the little things. They lead to bigger things. So when I started, I was sitting there saying, okay, I'm grateful to be sober. Like today, I'm grateful to be sober. I'm grateful God gave me another chance on this earth to spend time with my family and the people that are on the internet or people I work with in person. I'm grateful to be recognized as a beautiful person and a soul today, as opposed to someone that used to be scary and used to do the wrong things. I'm grateful to be able to, this guy, Lefty, that you're going to be interviewing, grateful that he's actually working well with me. We don't even really talk to each other when we do it. We actually can read people really well. We're reading each other. He didn't have to tell me what to do. I just kind of went off and did it. He always had the camera right. He's like, how did you know? I said, well, it's just, we know how to read each other. It's perfect. Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be really nice the way he's going to put it. I'm letting him direct it all. It's his own direction, his whole world, his thing. I'm the only person behind the scenes on that part. Like, I'm the one in the, being interviewed, the one, with the story. He knows his stuff. I won't interrupt that. That's not my business. You know what I mean? So when you're actually being grateful for something, I don't care if you're a millionaire. If you're a millionaire, be grateful you have a good team to help you become a millionaire.
That's it.
All right? Don't forget where you come from. They always say it's lonely at the top. Well, guess what? It's not lonely if you're bringing people with you.
Beautiful.
So bring the people with you. Train them how to become up at that level where they could be achievable too. Don't just train them on one level. Say, okay, well, now you're good. Okay, I coached you. I'm not like a typical coach. I will make sure I'll throw the extra in there. I know PR work on side of it that I could put people in so many different spots. The one news press that went out on me went to potentially 170 million people. It took my website and it booted it way up at that 1 month. Oh man, it was beautiful to see how many people walked in there and looked at my site. It was just beautiful. And I was just transferring it over and making things happen at that time too. It's really nice. So I have a lot of famous people looking over my website. But another thing I want to say is if you ever had me as a friend, Do not jump into a sales pitch. You will be the leader. I don't want nothing to do with you. I want organic people to work with, and we can work together. You don't know. Maybe you could be. I'm telling you right now, the autobiography is coming. The movie's coming. And I'm also going to put it out there right now that I'm committing to once a week, a season. I'm going to do a season first. Once a week, I'm going to put out, like, it's going to be a show, my autobiography show, a story about Robert J. Moore, or life of it. Every week, there's going to be like 45-minute little, like Roseanne Barr or something like that. You know what I mean? Whoever you want to think about. It's going to be like a season thing. You know what I mean? In my life, and it's I'll pick different people to be in it. Like, hey, you want to play this person? Hey, you want to play that person? You know, or you want to be a standby person walking by or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's going to be like a little TV series that I'm going to bring out. But,
love that. Yeah. Absolutely love that. Thank you so much. Yes, as we rise, we lift, Robert. We have to. We have to bring people with us. I absolutely agree with you. Any final words for the audience as we end off this amazing session?
Stop worrying about the TV. The TV is not teaching you. Stop worrying about this, what other people are doing, and start figuring out why you're not growing. If you need to get a hold of me, myself, you can look on Robert J. Moore on the internet. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on all these different things. Those are the two main ones I use. Or you can do Magnetic Entrepreneur Inc. You can find me anywhere. You know, if you have to get a hold of me through my website, it's www.magnetic-entrepreneur.com. And you can get me through there if you need to. But be serious. I don't want any tire kickers. I'm not interested. And I understand there's financial stress. I mean, we could work together and make it happen, but I'm not going to give it to you cheap. I'm not going to lower what I'm going to offer you because you can't afford it. We're just going to make different arrangements to make it happen. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you to go sell drugs to go make it happen. I'm going to tell you, well, maybe we just need to do a payment plan and we could do it this way. You know what I mean? Look, the people used to always tell me, you're broke all the time and you're drunk. You can afford the booze. Why can't you afford to get out of that? I mean, it's like right now, like when people are telling me when I afford the booze, I couldn't afford a phone. Maybe 1, 2, 4 a month. If I didn't buy that 2, 4 a month, I can afford a phone. It's the same with life right now. It's the same with life right now. If you're doing something that is an expense that you know is a habit that's not getting you anywhere, do one of less. And maybe you can put that towards something else. I quit smoking. I put that money towards other things. I quit drinking. Put that money towards other things.
All about perspective. I agree. And thank you so much, from me and the Meticulous Moments audience for a phenomenal session. We had fun as always.
It's all fun. It's all fun. What are you talking about?
Have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon.
I certainly appreciate you having me on here. And to the audience, if you haven't been told today, I love you.
Oh, that's beautiful. We love you. We love you. Bye, Robert. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Take care.
Bye.
House music.